The gamelan is a percussion orchestra, so something that you can hit. And the National Music Museum's gamelan comes from Surakarta, Java, so it is specifically a Central Javanese style instrument. And that's kind of important to remember because Indonesia itself is made up of 20,000 islands, and historically, of course, an island is pretty segregated, so it's not until modern times that transportation between the islands was easy. So each island not only developed their own languages and their own cultures, but also their own music. Common are the percussion instruments of the gamelan: gongs, pots, xylophones, but how they're made and the setup and the type of music and the technique of playing is very different. So the gamelan instruments came to the museum in 1999. They came directly from a master maker in Surakarta, Java. They were shipped from Surakarta. They landed on the west coast and then were transported to Minneapolis by train, and then went through customs, and then were trucked from Minneapolis down here. We benefited so much because Margaret Ann Everest of Sioux City, who was a lifelong patron of the arts, she actually donated the money to purchase this. And it was, get the best, get the largest, let's do this right. And so with her blessing, the instruments were acquired. And you're actually seeing only maybe about 2/3 of the instruments. So it's not even everything that's out here. This is sort of the skeletal, kind of a skeletal number of instruments that we can have that will actually play, that will make a complete gamelan. As far as an educational tool, they have been absolutely amazing. It's one of the few places in South Dakota where people can come and be immersed in a different culture. All educational tours and activities always culminated with some sort of experience playing the gamelan. In addition, several USD honor classes were taught in gamelan and Javanese culture, and we use the gamelan to immerse ourselves in this culture. We do the whole bit. We don't step over an instrument. We take our shoes off. This is all part of the culture of respect that is being, that the gamelan, first of all, deserves, but we're teaching maybe a little bit more than just how to play the gamelan. We're teaching respect. We're teaching cooperation. This is a pot off one of the instruments, and it exhibits classical Southeast Asian characteristics. Southeast Asian gongs are very much made with this knob or boss rather than the straight kind of gong that you might see from other parts of Asia. So these are smelted in a furnace, which is contained in a hut, so it's not air conditioned, and in the sand in the ground, they will form a disc mold, and they pour the molten bronze, which is, the bronze, by the way, is made to a very specific recipe, of how much of each element is put in. And then that disc, while it's still malleable, they have a circle of workers who will hammer it, start hammering it into shape. Then it's refired and taken back, and refired and taken back, until you get into the basic shape. And then, of course, the pot is allowed to cool, and then polished and so forth, and then eventually tuned. So the gamelan really reflects the culture, the geography of Indonesia. The motto of Indonesia is unity in diversity. And in the gamelan, we have a diverse number of instruments. Oh my gosh. I mean, and within an instrument itself, this one, for example, has 14 pots just by itself on one instrument. Each instrument has its own style and its own music way of playing, but the concept of individual instruments doesn't exist. You will not find solo bone-on music. It's gamelan music. It's the whole entity. So it really is one body with these multiple parts, or one nation with these multiple islands, each with individual qualities, but all playing together, all cooperating. And in gamelan, everything aims for going to the very gong. That's the goal, the ultimate goal. And so the cooperation of everyone playing and going towards this ultimate goal is actually quite special when you're experiencing it yourself.